How's it going, you sexy beasts? Today we've been given game update number 13 for Planetside 2, and this time it's got a ton of stuff to cover. The past few updates have been more refinement patches, but this go around we've got some sweet ass content to look forward to. These include the long awaited nanite system submachine gun, Empire specific pistols, Empire specific fighter nose gun changes, the complete overhaul of Esamir and its shiny new lattice system, and the revamp of nearly all of the Vonu Sovereignty weapons. As opposed to my other patch notes videos, I'm going to try and be as thorough as possible with nearly every change while throwing in my own opinion and disregarding any minor bug fixes. As always, I'll be linking the patch notes from the forum in the description box below so you can go ahead and read along. So, go ahead and grab a snack for both of us, and let's dive into game update number 13. First off, the biggest change with this update is the addition of the Lattice Link map system for Esamir. This change is completely massive as it utterly revamps the entire continent, changing it from a vehicle-only, war-torn ice world to a more infantry-friendly fighting area. Don't get me wrong, Esamir still holds true to being designed for ground vehicles, but capturing facilities won't be a complete one-sided fight on the team with the most tanks. All outposts and facilities in Esamir have had additional bulkheads added, as well as many walls set up to prevent vehicle intrusion on outpost capturing. This change to Esamir is just like the one we experienced with Endar back with game update number 9. The Lattice Link will remove the adjacency requirements for capturing bases and have them aligned with Lattice Links in order to be captured. There's far too many outpost changes, moves, and redesigns to be mentioned in one single video, so I just have to recommend hopping in-game to see the awesome new Esamir. Just a hint though, look for the Octo Crown. It's got to be my favorite base on Esamir now and gives me a strong Starship Troopers vibe. Can't wait to see some crazy light assault warfare going on there. As for some more content to get our hands on, we've got a total of 4 new guns to be acquired this patch, which are 3 faction-specific pistols and the Nanite Systems personal defense weapon. First on the list is the long-awaited Nanite Systems SMG. This gun deals a maximum of 125 damage, fires at a rate of 750 rounds per minute, contains a 30-round magazine, and features a very badass bullpup design, with a magazine contained in the stock of the weapon. The NS SMG has a very low cone of fire and a near instantaneous cone of fire reset after firing, making this thing an absolute beast with an advanced laser sight and bump firing in bursts. The sheer accuracy of this SMG will put other weapons of the same class to shame and will surely earn a place in the hearts of die-hard SMG infiltrators. Next up, we've got the very awesome Empire-specific pistols. To sum it up, the new Conglomerate get a repeater pistol but cooler, the Terran Republic get a beamer pistol but cooler, and the Vonu Sovereignty get a Repel, but also cooler. So for the new Conglomerate, we've got the LA3 Desperado, which deals 167 damage per shot with a 14-round magazine. Keep in mind though that the Desperado fires in bursts of 2 rounds per pull the trigger. With that, both the NC's Desperado and the TR's Repeater will down a target in 3 pulls of the trigger, assuming all bullets land. As for the Terran Republic, they've been giving the very badass TS2 Inquisitor pistol. This beast of a gun features a 30-round magazine, 531 rounds per minute fire rate, and deals 143 damage per shot. Essentially, this is like carrying around a semi-automatic carbine as your secondary. Any Terran who loves ammunition will surely be carrying around the Inquisitor. Last but not least, we've got the Vonu Sovereignty's Cerberus pistol. This is a pretty sweet pistol, acting much alike to a revolver. This pistol comes with a completely new set of iron sights that are much less obtrusive than the Beamer or Manticore pistols, and will surely be a fan favorite across all Vonu soldiers. This pistol fires at 300 rounds per minute and deals 250 maximum damage with a magazine size of 8 rounds. Not to mention, the Cerberus has some sweet ass animations too. In regards to infantry changes, there's quite a few things to discuss. The very first thing I'd like to cover are the new Vonu Sovereignty weapon sounds. SOE has done a complete rework of audio for nearly every single weapon in the Vonu's arsenal, excluding max weaponry. Their pistol, carbine, assault rifle, LMG, sniper rifle, rocket launcher, and lasher have all had new sounds implemented. If any of those weapons can be suppressed, they've been changed as well. The Vonner Sovereignty have gained some more pew pew this patch, and I'll let you be the judge of that. The hipfire crosshair will now highlight red when hovering over an enemy if the enemy is within 8 meters. This will have no effect on cloaked infiltrators, even though it will show up really quickly before their cloak is fully removed. So every faction specific pistol has also been given a balanced pass, including the underboss. If you want to look into the actual changes, please check the forum thread. There's far too many numbers, and I don't want to bore you all with calling them out. There's not a lot to notice, but if you're a die-hard pistol user, you might want to check them out. VS carbines, all submachine guns, and the NC's mag shot and Rebel have had their iron sights retweaked. The iron sights alignment used to be off by just a little bit, throwing off the aim of the users. Now these weapons should be properly aligned to shoot where they are pointing. The ammunition belt certification line had its total certification point tweaked just a tad. For all applicable classes, aside from the heavy assault, you'll be seeing a price point of 1 cert for tier 1, 10 certs for tier 2, 100 certs for tier 3, and 1000 certs for tier 4 of the ammunition belt suit slot certification. As for the heavy assault, the first tier is 50 certs, with the second and final tier costing 500 certs. The advanced shield capacitor certification tree has been buffed by about 60% across all 5 ranks. The old final rank of Advanced Shield Capacitor would reduce the time needed before your shields would recharge by 2.5 seconds. The newly updated cert will reduce the time before your shields recharge by 4 seconds, almost halving the total wait time before your shields will begin to recharge out of combat. Claymores, Bouncing Betties, and Proximity Mines now all play audio when being triggered and can be spotted as well. As for Proximity Mines and Bouncing Betties, these both will play an animation as well as audio when being triggered, so now you'll be able to hear that click of impending doom before being sent to the respawn screen. On to the list of vehicle changes, and this is where a lot of text comes into play on the patch notes. If you're a frequent pilot of ESFs, then be sure to read up on all the nose gun changes in this update. Stock nose guns for the ESFs have had their fire rate slowed down just a bit, with Mosquito firing the fastest and Reaver being the slowest firing. Magazine capacities of the stock nose guns have been increased across the board, and overall damage has been adjusted, with the Mosquito dealing the least damage and the Reaver dealing the most. Rotary cannons have been adjusted as well, with all 3 factions' rotary cannons having their fire rate being slowed down, but also having their damage increased to keep the same time to kill from the previous patch. This is only a brief outline of the ESF changes, so I urge you to check the patch notes to make sure you'll still be enjoying your fighter pilot. On to ground vehicle changes. If you are a Terran, rejoice for the change to the Vulcan secondary weapon for the Harasser and Prowler, as if it wasn't OP enough. Both variants have been giving the armor-piercing resist type, making the weapon more powerful against ground vehicles as opposed to air vehicles. With this change though, the direct impact damage has been increased from 110 to 220, making this badass bullet hose even more effective against infantry targets, while also still being possibly the best secondary weapon in the game, even more. The Sunder has had its resistance against armor-piercing bullets increased by 5% to help ward off those pesky tank buster equipped liberators. The Harasser had its resistance to small arms fire reduced by 5%, as well as the composite armor bonus being reduced by a total of 4% at the final rank. And last but not least, we'll cover the new additions to the depot. There's plenty of new bundles for all classes and vehicles, as well as some new camouflage. A total of 7 new camo patterns were added, which include the Abstract, Stripe, Cells, Amoeba, forest ground, scales, and grayscales camo patterns. The scales camo pattern and the forest ground camo patterns can be equipped across all factions, whereas the stripe, cells, amoeba, and abstract camo patterns are all faction specific. As for the equipment bundles, there's a whole bunch of pro bundles in the depot where you can unlock 2 weapons for any particular vehicle or class for the price of 1 weapon. For example, the Infiltrator Pro Bundle will unlock the new faction-specific pistols that came with this patch, as well as a submachine gun. The Heavy Assault Pro Bundle will unlock your faction's heavy weapon, which are the Jackhammer for NC, Lasher for Vanu Sovereignty, and Mini Chain Gun for Terran Republic, as well as a Nanite Systems Underboss pistol. I'm digging how these bundles are put together so you're not going to overlap any primary or secondary weapons. So there you have it, you sexy beasts. Game update number 13, what we've all been waiting for. So far, the Esamir Lattice change has got to be my favorite addition from this patch. It's been so long since I actually enjoyed fighting on Esamir, and now I'm pretty sure I'll never leave it. So what are you guys' favorite changes so far? Let me know in the comment section below. Hopefully you guys did find this video both informative and enjoyable, and if you did, please give it a big ass thumbs up. If you didn't, thumbs it down and let me know what I can improve on. Want to see more videos like this? Then go ahead and subscribe. It's free!